make the video like how I normally do in my living room, and I must have bit my lip. I'm tasting blood. I was going to do the video in my living room, but I have to go on walks. Like I mentioned on my last video. If you guys have seen it, if you guys have not seen it, go and watch it, because you should be watching it anyway. On my review of having the BBL surgery that I've been wanting to do for a very long time, but I just waited around for my body to get to a mature, my woman body, as I like to call it, and just gave it time. So one of the things that the doctor always mentioned was to get your walks in, to get your steps in. So I used to just go on walks a lot, especially the first 3 weeks of my recovery. But now I'm about to be week 6 come Tuesday, and I just stopped walking after a while, but I feel like I need to go back to it because my knees, they're not swollen right now, but they tend to get swollen because I have to kneel, and I'm kneeling all the time. If I'm not laying down on my stomach, I'm kneeling. So in doing that, I realized that when I was walking, I wasn't having that much of a problem. So I said, you know what, I'm just gonna go back to doing my walk. So I've been up since like 5 o'clock. My schedule is so, I hate this. I need to do some neck exercises, because what is that? So I was just up and I was like, you know what, let me go on a walk. It's a nice day. It's supposed to be like 82 today, so, and I'm off, so why not? But also while I'm on my walk, why not do my video and do something different as far as instead of being in the house? So in today's video on chapter 3 of my book, and again, if you have not gotten my book, make sure you go and get it. They did not tell you about your 20s, so make sure you guys go get that book. It's doing very good. For my first book, self-published, I feel accomplished, but Jesus, it is doing very good. So I am very proud of that. It's doing very, very good. See my TikTok, that was the laundromat that I do my laundry at. It's right on the corner of my block. My building has a laundromat, but they don't really clean it like they're supposed to. So I come here, well, there instead. But anyway, like I was saying, so in this video, basically talking about they did not tell you about your 20s, chapter 3. And in this chapter, it was titled, Some Friendships Will Come to an End. And I feel like that's something very big. That's something very big that tends to happen when you get to your 20s. Sometimes in your 30s too. I think probably just anywhere in life it happens, but in your 20s it really happens the most, I feel like, because everybody's in a different transition in life. So people are changing, how you look at things is changing, everything is just shifting. So it only makes sense that happens. Girl trips and friendships. Now, it's not everybody who has these problems, but I feel like a lot of the times when women go on girl trips, we tend to always have like this bickering problem or this issue with one another for whatever reason. And that's what happened with me and 3 of my friends, with someone who we were friends with. It was more so along the lines of, she thought something was being said about her and I guess about the trip. And we were frustrated on some things, but a lot of the things we just left alone because it is what it is. We wasn't going to make it a big deal. But she sided with her other friends who she had come on the trip instead of listening and hearing what it is we were trying to say. All in all, damn bus. All in all, it was a good trip until the end. And we're no longer friends with her. And it was not a thing of, well, if you're not friends with her, then I'm not going to be friends with her. It was more along the lines of hearing what had happened and seeing what had happened, because 2 people did go and the other one didn't go and two did go. And hearing what had happened made them feel like, well, I don't want to be friends with her if this is how she's going to act, and if this is how she acted on something so small as this. So it really just made our friends see her in a different light. And since that day, no, we have not talked, no, we have not rekindled our friendship. It was just a lot that had happened that didn't need to happen, and we all moved on from it. But I'm saying that to say this: when you go on girl trips, just make sure that there's an idea of what's going on. I like to always go on trips with some sort of an itinerary. And I feel like that has to happen even when you're on a vacation, when you're on just your friendcation. Kind of have an idea of what's going to happen, of what y'all have planned. Because when you have that, there's less of an issue, there's less of an argument. This pollen is trying to take me out. There's less of drama, there's less issues, there's less unnecessary spending that doesn't have to happen. And I feel like with most girl trips, friendships are always tested, and I feel like a lot of them just don't come back. And the crazy thing is, we went to Miami, and I know 2 other people who had went to Miami on a girls trip, and they're no longer friends with their friends either. So I'm like, okay, Miami got to be cursed, because I don't understand why girls can go to these trips, go to Miami, and then come home and no longer friends. I don't know what the fuck it's about. But that's one way your relationships will be tested, is going on girls trips. And friend trips just in general. I mean, maybe guys too have these problems, but I feel like they don't, because guys are very simple. They're like, yo, we're going to the club. All right, cool. Well, I'm not going. All right, well, fine. Then you stay here. Whereas girls, we kind of always want to travel in packs for the most, and we all kind of want to do things together. But that's one way in how your friendships can and will be tested. How your friendships will be tested is life tends to throw everybody a different ball. Some people get right out of college or right out of high school, and they automatically have a plan. They automatically have their life sorted out. They know that they're going to go from college to law school, or they know they're going from this 4-year degree to going to be a doctor, or business, like just basically anything. And they have it set, and this is how they're going. And then somebody else in the group could just be, still trying to figure it out, working, but figuring out their life and where it is they want to go. You have somebody else who gets into a serious relationship, gets married, has kids, moves across the country. You have another person in the group who strays the wrong way and goes into doing shit that they shouldn't be doing. And then you have another friend who is just letting life teach him or her its lessons and along the lines. Everybody gets thrown a different ball within the group. And for some friendships, it lasts. For some friendships, it's strong enough to say, you know what? This isn't going to break us. We're still going to be in our group chats. We're still going to see each other. The person who flew across the country now lives in a whole nother state will all come over there to come see you, and vice versa. They'll come and they'll hang out with us. You have friends who all decided to go into the same field, and they all decided to work and do the same thing. And even if you didn't all go into the same field, it's just the bond that you guys have had and that you developed in high school and you just stuck with. And that's a beautiful thing. It's a great thing to have people who you've known since high school and even middle school, and you just continue to hold on to that friendship. But life will throw you curves. Life will throw other people certain situations that require them to have to leave their old friendships and their old relationships behind, because it's calling for them to do more and to be a better person. And that doesn't necessarily make you, as the person who they're leaving, a distraction, but that's just what the course calls for. You have to leave the other people behind and move on with your life. But again, I also know people who are still friends with their friends years later. And like me and my friends, we've known each other since middle school. Two of us knew each other since high school. One I've known since 6th grade. And another friend, I met her, I want to say like almost 10 years ago, and we're still all friends. So it's like like I said before, like I said in sort of my intro, that our relationship teetered a little bit, especially middle school and high school friendships. It did. And I will take, ownership in my part of the lack of later on in my 20s. Because I said, like in my early 20s, we were all like hanging out, we were all going out, we were all doing things. And then it's just, as time went on, it's kind of like, I feel like figuring life out just took us on a different path. But then now we're able to come back and become a little tighter and become closer to each other and sort of rekindle friendships that, didn't end messy and didn't end period, but just, like I said, life gave it a different route. But we still ended up finding our way back to each other and being friends again. And again, not saying that we weren't, but our friendships just became a little tighter, which is perfectly fine. And it happens. It does. Like I said, life will throw you curveballs. Life will make you change and do certain things and see the world differently and see people differently. And a lot of the times you will grow apart. And that leads me to my next subcategory. You guys will, or possibly will, grow apart. And just because you grew apart from a friend that you've known forever does not mean that there has to be beef, does not mean that there has to be an issue, does not mean that there has to be a fight or an argument. It's a matter of you chose one way, they chose another way, and that's just how life handed what life dealt them. Those are the cards that life dealt them. And that's not to say that they think that they're better than you. That's not to sit here and think that, oh, she feels like she done got this and she done got that and she's too good and da-da-da. No, that's not it either. That's not it. Stop trying to find drama in situations that don't require it. It's a matter of life just changed. That's it. What you may have been okay with doing, as far as like, let's say you are more of a partier. Let's say you're a party goer and you like to party all the time, and that's like your thing to do, is to hang out and go on parties and party every weekend and work during the week. Somebody else may not necessarily feel that. They may be like, you know what, I'm more so into traveling, and I'm more into investing, and I'm more into going to these seminars to better myself, or I want to build a business or something like that. And that's perfectly fine. That's your niche. Again, this doesn't necessarily mean that you and your friend had a falling out. Y'all didn't have a falling out. You just went two different ways. And that doesn't mean that they're better than you. This is what you chose. This is what they chose. That's it. It doesn't have to always be, especially with females. It doesn't always have to be, but I'm also starting to see it with guys too. Like, y'all doing some weirdo shit too. It doesn't always have to be drama. It's just a matter of, she went this way, I went that way. He went this way, I'm going this way. And that's fine. And again, if life somehow brings y'all back together to where y'all can be cool again, y'all can rekindle a friendship, then fine. Y'all catch up. Y'all see what's going on. You hear what's happening. And you never know. They probably will be somebody that you need later on down the line. You never know that. They can honestly be somebody who you look into like, oh, this is what you do now? Oh, yo, I need this and that and the third. I need X, Y, and Z. And then they'll take that into consideration. And then they'll move that and be like, you know what? I'm going to need you to help me with X, Y, and Z. I'm going to need you to do this since you already have people that can help me in a situation or the direction that I'm trying to go. You have these people, so I'm gonna need you to help me out. It's that simple and it's that easy. Then to the fact of, yes, we're no longer friends. Yes, we're no longer, and they always want to badmouth each other. Like, for what? What are you really badmouthing each other for? Y'all just went two separate ways. Like, it's okay. Things happen. So that will also tend to happen. And it's not a big deal. Like I said, you guys will maybe one day come back to each other. But if this is your path and where you're trying to go, and this is their path and what they're trying to do, it's perfectly fine. You'll be okay. My final thought on why some friendships come to an end. You also have to know when it's time to walk away. You do. You have to know when it's time, or you have to realize when I've been giving more than what I'm receiving. And that doesn't necessarily have to mean just in a relationship like you and a boyfriend, you and a girlfriend. It's also friendships. It's also with family. But in this context, we're talking about friendships. You also have to understand when it's time to walk away. When you and this person no longer serve each other, and when it just has to come to an end. And I guess that wraps up. This is basically a wrap up of everything I just said about life giving you both different paths to go on, and you just choose the path of what you want to do. Some friendships that I've had to walk away from, and simply because it wasn't serving me any purpose. It wasn't doing anything for me. And I also felt like I was giving more than I was receiving. And that's also in family dynamics and relationship dynamics, but just also seeing, like, if I'm sitting here trying to hold on, if I'm sitting here inviting you places, if I'm sitting here, trying to have a conversation with you and talk to you and get into your brain and understand where it is you're coming from and what it is you want to do with your life, and basically, just trying to uplift you as your friend and trying to move forward as your friend. It's difficult when it's not the same thing going on. If I always have to reach out to you, or if you always have to reach out to them, and they're never doing that to you, then that's time for you to walk away. If you constantly keep putting your hands out, and they're just like looking at your hand like, what am I supposed to do with that? That's when it's time for you to walk away. And there may be some underlying problems. There may be a hint of jealousy, a hint of envy. And then again, it may not. It may also be that they have chosen, like I've said before, a different route in life. They've chosen a new group of people. They're trying to figure themselves out. It don't even necessarily have to be another person or a group of people that entered into their life. It could just be them themselves trying to figure life out and needing to walk away from a friendship because they have to make themselves better, and having to realize, like, in order for me to be a better friend, I have to be a better person to myself. And it's okay for you to feel that way, and for you to walk away from it before they walk away from you. Because no one's going to sit here and keep having to ask somebody like, hey, you want to do this? Hey, you want to do that? Hey, you want to do this? Hey, can we do that? Oh, how's it going? I'm just reaching out, just saying how it is. And then they're not doing the same thing back. Because then it's like, okay, it's like I'm fiending to keep you as a friend. Like, I'm holding on to you and you're just like, let me go. So I'm going to let you go. So it's okay, like I said, for you to walk away from a situation that's no longer serving you, and don't feel bad about it either. Like, you can probably feel sad, like, damn, that was really my dog, or that was really my girl, like, that was like someone who I always talk to. But you got to do you. You have to do what makes you happy. And keeping toxicity around you as you get older ain't it. Because that energy will follow behind you. And when you're wondering why shit ain't going right in your life, it's all the toxic shit you got going on in your circle. And that's another thing, because I definitely said like that was going to be it. But keep your circle small. Like, I don't know, and maybe it's not so much now, but I feel like at one point it was a big thing for everybody to have like a bunch of friends. Like, yeah, I got 15 friends. Why? Like, why? Keep your circle small. Keep it small. Because the smaller the circle, the less drama, the less toxicity, the less negative energy, the more things that can happen, the more positivity, the more greater things that can come out of it. Because trying to keep and then it's too much work trying to keep a large circle of friends like that. Like, think about it, that's 15 birthdays you gotta attend, 15 presents. Like, it's just, that's a lot. And when you think about it too, are all 15 of them really gonna ride for you if something happens? If something happens in your life, can you honestly sit here and say you can call all 15 of them and they will show up? Now, if you have that, and these are people like you really trust with your entire life and then some, kudos to you. But I personally feel keeping your circle small is like the best thing that you could do. Like I said, I have 5. That's it, 5. I may throw a 6th in there. No, I'm joking. But I do have 5. I do have 5. I do have 5 close friends. And then I honestly could add 2 more people in there. But I wouldn't say they're close. Like, we're definitely friends, but I wouldn't call them close friends. But 5 people who I talk to a lot. Not every single day, but majority of the time. Who I've gone to their birthdays, hung out with them. Their family knows me. My family knows them. Like, again, circle, tiny. Less drama, less problems, less people you have to worry about not having your back or doing shady shit behind your back. It makes a difference. It really does. But yeah, so guys, that is it for this chapter. I love that you guys have came on my little walk with me. Although I did stay in the shade. I stayed in that spot right back there for like a hot minute because, boy, this sun is hot. So I did a lot of walking today because I didn't do a lot of walking. I'm lying. But I did do some walking right now. Oh, a little chipmunk. So cute. I had to do some walking early in the morning because 1, it's nice out. 2, I'll be cooped up in the house doing nothing. And 3, I can't sit down. So, like, it helps when I can just go on walks and just to be outside of the house and keep my blood flowing. Because like I said before, my knees be swollen. They be looking bad, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to do something different. I'm going to do a walk and talk to y'all about the next chapter of my book, chapter 3. Some friendships will come to an end. And like I said in the video, it's okay if they do come to an end. It's going to happen. And again, it may not happen. You may be one of the lucky ones who can still hold on to the friendships that you have and still keep these same people in your life forever. But at the same time, you also need to know when to walk away from the ones that don't serve you no more. From the ones that work, especially the ones that are toxic. If you have friends that are toxic and you just see that they're not growing as you're growing and as you're changing and they're just stuck in their ways, baby, you gotta go. And it does not have to mean that you're better than them. It doesn't have to mean that you are, you got all your shit together, because you don't. You don't have all your shit together. Even if you have a car, a place, a car place and you're traveling and you have some money saved up, you still don't have all your shit together. There's still something, whether it be personal or in your life, that needs to be fixed. And seeking perfection is never going to be, it's just not ideal, and it's never going to happen. But having a core group of friends who you can rely on is something that you do have a lot of control over. And if it's not there, then you gotta go. Respectfully, you gotta go. Because who got time for that? I'm not even gonna use the whole thing of like, oh, it's 2022 and we don't have time for, fuck all that. We're growing. We are growing. We are maturing. And what does not serve you no more, you need to let go of. And if you've been allowing all of this to happen the first 6 months of the year, we are now in the last 6 months of the year. I can't believe I'm saying that. But we are in the last 6 months of the year. So you honestly just have to go about life in a different way. Because if it wasn't working for you in the beginning, it ain't gonna work for you now. So move on, let go. And again, it does not have to be a battle. It doesn't have to be an issue. But y'all do have to move accordingly and assess your situation. See if that's something that you even want to still be a part of. You may not even want to be a part of that no more, honestly. So, I love you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. I am back. Yes, I was gone for a minute because I was really not trying to do this 2-week break thing, but I had finals and then surgery, and then I was just tired. And then now I'm back to work. So I'm working overtime. They have us working 6 days a week. The girl is tired. I stayed in the house all day yesterday. I don't think I even moved. But probably just a shower, and that was it. I'm gonna get some food. But other than that, I didn't do much of nothing. So I love you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. Ooh, nuts. Ew. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to my channel, because I know you guys want to. So do it. No, I'm joking. But seriously, do that though. And yeah, I'll see y'all. Bye.